When we think of Shrek, we usually remember a funny fairy tale full of twists. The charismatic green ogre, the talking donkey, and of course, Princess Fiona, who won everyone over with her unique personality. But behind all the humor and adventure, there's a curious, and even a bit disturbing, theory that many fans have overlooked. What if I told you that Fiona may have survived in a very different way than we imagine? Let's go back to the story for a moment. Fiona has been locked in that tower since childhood, right? This isn't just speculation. The second film makes it very clear. When Shrek finds her diary, it's revealed that Fiona was sent to the tower when she was still very young. There's even a part showing that she couldn't attend Sleeping Beauty's slumber party, making it clear that she lost her childhood locked away in that place. In other words, she lived there isolated for years, without any contact with the outside world. And that's where the big question arises. How exactly did Fiona manage to eat all that time? Where did the food that kept her alive come from, up until the day Shrek finally showed up to rescue her? Nobody had access to that tower. It was a protected, guarded, and nearly impenetrable place. The only being who could move freely around there was the dragon, the same one who would later fall in love with and marry Donkey. So the most logical answer would be to assume that the dragon was the one providing food for Fiona. But this leads us to an even bigger question. What exactly was the dragon giving her to eat? This is where the theory starts to take shape. Right after Shrek and Fiona leave the highest tower, the movie shows a detail that many people ignored. There's a giant boiling cauldron right next to a huge open book. And it's not just any page, it's a specific recipe. Written on it are the words, "nightly treats." Does it seem like just a joke or a detail thrown in for the more observant viewers? Maybe, but if we think carefully, the message is pretty clear. The knights who tried to save Fiona weren't just defeated. They were turned into food. And while that made sense for the dragon, who needed to eat, the real question is, did Fiona take part in that as well? Let's remember another important scene. When Shrek and Donkey are about to cross the rope bridge, we see that the knights' horses are left behind on the other side, abandoned to their fate. In other words, the knights went in but never came out. The dragon defeated them, but apparently didn't keep them all to itself. From the looks of it, they were taken to Fiona. And this leads us to a shocking conclusion. Fiona survived for years by feeding on humans. Fiona is a cannibal. Now, an interesting moral dilemma comes up. If Fiona only ate the knights when she was transformed into an ogre, would that really be considered cannibalism? Maybe not for her. After all, by seeing herself as a monster, she might not identify with humans and believe it was simply part of her condition. But the truth is that Fiona wasn't just an ogre. She was human during the day and transformed at night. And it's precisely this duality that makes the theory even more intriguing. If you love theories that make you question your own sanity, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. There are 3 new videos every day for you. The hypothesis suggests that Fiona spent the days sleeping in her human form, fragile and delicate, with no means of attacking anyone. But when night fell and her ogre form awakened, she woke up hungry. And who were the prey available? The brave knights who tried to save her. It's possible to imagine that, while the world believed these knights failed their missions, in reality, they became the feast that kept Fiona alive for years. This even explains why, when Shrek finally reaches the tower to rescue her, he finds Fiona sleeping peacefully in her human form, right in the middle of the day. It all made sense within this logic. She would have already fed during the night, and at sunrise, she rested. Stop and think. How many knights tried to invade that tower over the years? How many lives were lost in the name of this impossible mission? And if all of them, in fact, became sustenance that kept the princess alive, then this theory reveals a much darker side of the fairy tale. So, does it make sense or not? Deep down, maybe it's just a hidden joke by the writers, a little detail placed for the most attentive fans to discuss. But if we really think about it, the theory fits perfectly within the timeline and the small hints scattered throughout the story. So, what do you think about this possibility? Could Fiona really have fed on knights during all those years in the tower? Share this theory with your Shrek fan friends, and let's see who else will be left speechless by this revelation. To keep marathoning the Shrek universe, click on one of these videos that you'll love. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and see you in the next video here on Cine Lovers.